This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Tonight on 39 Dunedin News, getting closer to science, we have the details of a new program launched today that has local scientists excited. A large group of local builders prepared to join the international relief effort in Nepal. And the dark side of the internet. We look at an exhibition highlighting the criminal elements online. Good evening, Dunedin. I'm Callum Proctor. Local academics are leading a new government science program launched today. The Otago trial is one of 3 nationwide and the first to begin, and it's expected to spark further scientific projects in the city.
Kickstarting the future of science in New Zealand. The pilot of the new government-funded participatory science platform officially launches in the city. It's designed to get more people interested in the sciences.
This is really, what's exercising the public, what are the communities really interested in, them shaping up a project and saying, hey look, this is the knowledge gap, this is a science question we want to answer, and then marrying them up with the scientific experts so they can work together.
South Auckland, Taranaki and Otago are the 3 areas chosen to test the program, and Otago Museum's Dr. Craig Grant has been named the local project lead. The new initiative's offering a couple of funding types for projects, with small amounts of money available as seed funding to get ideas off the ground.
And it's really to give some resources to get those wheels going. Maybe it's getting the right scientists together and they can plan a project. So it's really to take it from the idea to the project stage.
The first call for projects will go out in August, and they'll be eligible for larger financial backing. The second call's planned for November. It's hoped the day's launch will get people talking about their ideas for research, as the government pushes for a greater interest in the sciences nationwide.
We just need to understand as a society and value that the knowledge that comes from science will change this country in every which way, in a way that will ultimately benefit our environment, our economy.
Otago is playing a critical role in the platform's development. The trial will last for 9 months, but Dr. Grant's hopeful it'll be extended if it goes well. Now it's time for locals to brainstorm as science gets a major boost in the city. David DeLorean, 39 Dunedin News.
A large bequest could significantly boost resources at the Otago SPCA. 39 Dunedin News understands $250,000 has been bequested to the organisation. But the Chief Executive says that she hasn't received formal notification of the donation. She says it often takes months for bequests to be allocated through the legal system. If donated, the $250,000 will be one of the Otago SPCA's largest single contributions. In recent years, only one bequest has topped that amount. The organisation relies solely on donations, bequests, legacies and other charitable funding. Well, locals are gearing up for an international relief effort in Nepal. 20 Southerners are set to join Habitat for Humanity's charitable house build in the disaster-stricken country, and they're aiming for an ambitious outcome.
Preparing for the trip of a lifetime, 19-year-old Jackson Free is one of 12 Southerners set to help build houses in earthquake-stricken Nepal. He signed up for the charitable trip despite knowing very little about Habitat for Humanity's work, inspired by the organisation's Southern team leader, Donald Lewis.
Donald came into work, he's a customer of ours, and talked to me about it, and I thought it was a pretty cool idea. And I went home with the parents, and everyone I've talked to thought it was an awesome idea. So yeah, I thought I'd give it a go. Haven't done anything like it before.
Like many locals, Free was moved by images of the devastation caused in the April earthquake, which exacerbated an already desperate need for housing in Nepal. And Lewis says it's important to get people involved in the solution, while the plight of the Nepalese is so high profile.
This particular build was scheduled before the earthquakes, and there was real questions about whether it could go ahead. And it was decided with the people on the ground that it should go ahead.
He says now more than ever there's a need for a large volunteer presence in Nepal, not just to help build infrastructure but to add to the country's weakened economy. And although building 100 homes in 5 days seems ambitious, he says it's entirely possible with the right attitude.
It's enthusiasm, fitness, and just a desire to be part of a team, doing some good in the world for people who are far less fortunate than us.
So far, Lewis has recruited 12 Southerners, the majority from Dunedin. And there's room for 8 more as part of New Zealand's 200-strong contingent for the November build. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
A local woman's been duped out of $2,000 through an internet scam. She befriended an American man on Facebook and believed he was sending her $300,000 in the mail. She received an email from a Malaysian courier company asking for $2,000 to release the package. The woman paid the money but contacted police after she was asked for more. Local officers unable to pursue prosecution as the overseas scam is beyond their jurisdiction. They warn residents to be wary of any online request for money. And local marijuana advocates are shining a light on the darkest reaches of the internet. They're behind an exhibition on what's referred to as the dark net, often used for illegal activity. And it's alarming some members of the public.
The internet has a dark side, and it's the topic of the local Cannabis Museum's newest exhibition. It explores the rise of the dark net and how hidden websites are being used to perform all manner of illegal activity.
Now, in the 21st century, this era of Web 2.0, you can essentially order your cannabis online.
Gray says the dark net is quite popular in Dunedin, with people using the hidden internet for a variety of reasons. It's accessed with unique web browsers, some of which have been developed with military applications in mind. He says the highlight for many people is the computer hooked up to the dark net, where people can explore the hidden internet themselves.
Of course, we wouldn't condone anyone using it for illegal activity. It's just there for informational purposes, and people can see for themselves from start to finish what these technologies are that have enabled this phenomenon and how it all works.
Gray is pleased with the response to the exhibition and feels it's the museum's best one to date, with a lot of work having gone into preparing it. He says it's serving as a great learning opportunity for locals.
The interesting thing about the darknet is, it has these shadowy connotations, but it's actually average people who use it, and a lot of people who wouldn't be comfortable interfacing with the criminal market in real life.
Gray says the Cannabis Museum's worked tirelessly to put the exhibition together, and he's hoping it'll leave locals with an insight into what is and what isn't possible with modern technology. David DeLorean, 39 Dunedin News.
Still to come on 39 Dunedin News, we look at the reasons behind the planned rebranding of Dunedin International Airport, and later how using theatre to teach kids the benefits of recycling has been a huge success.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Hedges are something we almost take for granted. A good hedge needs regular maintenance to look its best and to add value and character to your property. For all your hedge care needs, call the team at SGC Services on 0800 783 453.
Welcome to the Mornington, the friendly tavern on the hill. Lunch or dinner, try Fat Harry's, a Dunedin icon. Having a function, Abbott's Function Room and Bar holds 150. Contact the friendly team at the Mornington, Mailer Street, 453 6099.
She's 21 metres long with a 6.7 metre beam. She can support diving, seafloor mapping and sampling, deep water measurements, and has onboard laboratories. She has a range of 1,000 nautical miles, which means the Polaris 2 can take your studies further than you ever thought possible. My name's Will Raymond, and this is My Place in the World.
Take your place in the world.
Moving around the corner, overseas, Best Removals Otago Limited, specialists in household removals and business relocations, as well as packing materials, secure storage. Best Removals can do it all. 0800 266 834.
For 30 years, Southern Clams have harvested New Zealand littleneck clams in the coastal waters of Otago. Hand harvesting to order at the right place and time ensures perfection of every clam you eat. New Zealand littleneck clams, harvested for you by Southern Clams.
Every season, we're proud to dress the region. Alex Campbell Menswear, it fits.
Welcome back. The government's claiming a welfare victory with less people on benefits than a year ago. National MP Michael Woodhouse says that includes 19 fewer beneficiaries in Dunedin. But there's still concern over local jobs, with regional manufacturing down significantly. The downturn's slightly mitigated in Dunedin by an increase in activity as a result of the recent flooding. Businesses dealing with flood recovery are busier than normal, and that's bringing up local performance figures. Last week, the Otago Southland Manufacturing Performance Index was at its lowest in years. And on that note, let's take a look at today's financials. And to the markets across the Tasman, finishing stronger today, and here in New Zealand, the market up 15 points to 5877. To the exchange rates, and the New Zealand dollar up against all the major currencies that we monitor here. Well, there's change ahead in the local airline sector with new regional flights on the horizon. And this comes as Dunedin International Airport is rebranded. And Chief Executive Richard Roberts is here to talk about the changes and the challenges ahead. Good evening, Richard.
Good evening. How are you, Callum?
I'm well. Tell us first of all about the rebrand and why now?
Yeah, well, the rebrand, we've been kind of working on this since last February. We had a team of people, Megan Crawford, Emma Searle and Luke Johnson. And we had a bit of brand confusion going on at the airport. We had the old 2001 brand, the Albatross Dunedin International Airport, and Fly Dunedin, a more recent, probably, what would that have been? Probably 8 or 9 years ago, and then the Dunedin Gothic kind of text that we brought in. So we ran some focus groups. The team got together and spoke to the public. We had sectors in business, student and family, and found out what they wanted from us, and we found out they were pretty proud of the city, and so they should be, and they love their airport. But you know, nobody flies to an airport, they fly to a destination. We've not got any beds or attractions at the airport other than our fantastic staff. And so for us it was no better way than to embrace the existing Dunedin Gothic brand, which we think is pretty solid, and we just added airport to the bottom of it, and I'm pretty proud of the result, and yeah, I think it'll go well.
What do you hope to achieve with the new brand? Will this increase business in some way?
Well, it's not going to increase business, but what it does, it gives you a visual identity, you know, and I think it's really strong. What it does, it really connects us to our city, and again, the city and the region are who we are. again, I just keep repeating that, you know, the airport is not the destination. It's not why people fly here. They actually fly to visit this iconic, and I think it's a, you know, world-class destination that we have.
So along with the new brand, what else is new for the airport?
Well, the brand itself is a kind of a first step for us into really kind of just putting out there who we are and reconnecting us to our city. That's what I wanted to do when I came into the role. I really wanted to reconnect and just make people understand that we are just an enabler. We're there, you know, a larger airport will not make a bigger economy, but when the economy grows, we're ready to move.
Are we likely to see more airline activity? What's planned there?
Well, we can certainly sustain more flights at Dunedin Airport. We just want more of what we've got more often. More flights, well, I would say probably watch this space. It's been reported recently, Kiwi Regional Airlines will be starting up towards the end of September, connecting us to a new destination, that's Queenstown and also Nelson in the early stages. And we continue to work strongly with Air New Zealand, Jetstar and Virgin as well, in order to bring more people into Dunedin and to connect our people to Dunedin and the world.
So more flights, more competition. Is this likely to bring travellers' prices down?
More competition in any market, I think, usually will have that, you know, it will always see lower prices. But at the end of the day, listen, it's bums on seats that airlines are looking for. And we've got to fill these aircraft. 80% full would be a kind of a given now for any airline. And so we've got to use it or lose it, but I think we've got a great mix in our population. The students travel 4 times more than the resident population do, and we have mums and dads visiting us. And I think tourism, you just look across to Australia, large population bases there, you know, 4 or 5 million people in each centre. If we can just touch a few % of those guys and make them realise, you know, what they're missing.
Richard, what are the main issues for Dunedin travellers that you hear about in your job?
Barbecue, pub talk, more flights to Australia, and flying's too expensive.
How can you fix that?
How can we fix that? By getting more airlines in there. Listen, that's what we continue to do. That's who we are. We want more people flying to and from Dunedin more often, and that's the game that we're in.
All right, Richard, thanks for your time this evening.
No problem, thanks.
All right, after the break on 39 Dunedin News, an award-winning program teaching recycling to school kids continues to grow, and a stretch of fine weather is being promised. The details coming up in our look at the region's weather.
Do you want support for your breathing? You are not alone. In New Zealand, over 600,000 people have some form of breathing difficulty, especially with the high pollen season in New Zealand. Puff Plus is an excellent natural product developed to support lung function and breathing difficulties. Puff Plus is so effective, you get a no questions asked, money back guarantee on the first purchase. Give it a go, you have nothing to lose. Call now 0800 502 402. Take as directed. If symptoms persist, see your healthcare professional.
Discover New Zealand's most innovative museum, Toitu Otago Settlers Museum. 14 stunning galleries, 3 distinct architectural styles, and 1 million intriguing stories are yours to discover at Toitu Otago Settlers Museum. Open daily next to Dunedin Railway Station and with free admission. Toitu Otago Settlers Museum.
Bring some more joy into your world by adopting one of our adult animals at SPCA Otago. For more information, visit our website spcaotago.org.nz and give one of our adult animals a second chance at life.
Welcome to the Mornington, the friendly tavern on the hill. Lunch or dinner, try Fat Harry's, a Dunedin icon. Having a function? Abbott's Function Room and Bar holds 150. Contact the friendly team at the Mornington, Mailer Street, 453 6099.
Yeah, we're heading down George Street, down B, tip of the hat to the people we meet on southern skies. Take your place, take your place, take your place in the world. Take your place, take your place in the world.
Quality Tailors, the alterations specialists, adjusting alterations made to measure. Quality Tailors, fitting Dunedin for over 15 years. Call 477 8028 162 Princess Street, one shop down from Darling Street.
Wake up time and another frantic day ahead for Haraway's Oat Singles. With 3 delicious flavours in each pack, they don't last long with this family. They're so convenient and tasty, and they're ready in seconds. Haraway's Oat Singles are the ideal breakfast or snack on the run for today's busy families. And there's a flavour to suit everyone. Beat the rush and make sure you get your favourite flavour. Haraway's Oat Singles. Try new Kiwi Favourites Caramel Variety Pack.
Pregnant? Need to talk? 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Pregnancy counselling services are here to help. It's free, it's confidential. Call us now on 0800 773 462.
Police are pursuing a suspect in relation to the theft of $22,000 in cash from a local business. The money was stolen from a locked office inside a Frederick Street business earlier this month. Police aren't disclosing the identity of the company while their investigation continues. Nothing else has been reported stolen from the property. A long-running education program about recycling is being expanded. It's been taught in schools for almost a decade by members of a local theatre group, and its success is being recognised nationally.
Concord school pupils are learning what it takes to keep the city clean. Actors demonstrate the process of recycling as part of a theatre project run by Keep Dunedin Beautiful. And this year's program includes a recap of previous lessons.
The base of the show is that the kids, they're good kids, they know that they should put everything in the bin, but they just get distracted and forget, which, you know, everyone I'm sure has done from time to time. We're not all perfect, we don't always put like everything in the right bin, so it's just good to remind them, and we try to respect their knowledge so far.
The theatre program's now fully funded by Keep New Zealand Beautiful, allowing more schools than ever to be involved. This term, 63 performances at over 40 primary and intermediate schools are scheduled, and actors say they love seeing children pass on information to family and friends.
We had a wee kid this morning who was like, my Nana never cleans up. And we thought, oh no, but it's that kind of thing of like, well, maybe they'll go home and say, Nana, you know you've got to put that in the yellow bin or whatever. It's just those wee reminders.
She says children are becoming more savvy about protecting the environment, and so too are these educators, using pop music to encourage recycling.
They seem to appreciate the recent nature of the songs as well. Like we went through top 40 lists and things and picked the most current ones. So yeah, it's a good way for them to engage, and I think it's a good way for them to remember lessons as well.
Parts of the show will change as the tour continues to make the biggest impact on kids, so that in turn they can make a positive difference to the environment. Ruby McAndrew, 39, Dunedin News.
More than 1,000 people have responded to the Council's latest Residents' Opinion Survey. The Council sent the annual survey to 4,500 randomly selected residents. They were asked to comment on the Council and the services it provides. All locals were able to complete the survey online before it closed on the 17th. Detailed results should be published by the end of next month. The Council's used the survey for more than 20 years now to assess its performance and guide planning. Some data is used as an official measure of the Council's performance for audit purposes. Right, now recapping tonight's top stories on 39 Dunedin News. Local academics are the first to launch a trial government science program set to spark further projects in the city. Residents are preparing to help build 100 homes in 5 days as part of an international relief effort in Nepal. And an exhibition about the darkest parts of the internet is exposing illegal activity and causing some public alarm. And now let's take a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT. Bruce Query, good evening.
Good evening, Callum. We'll be continuing our series on Dunedin cycleways and where to from here. The news is purpose-built cycleways along the city's one-way system are likely to be up and running about 2 years from now. In other news, a Dunedin apartment hotel has sold to a foreign buyer for more than $6 million. In court today, a 23-year-old Dunedin man has pleaded not guilty to the murder of a woman at her home in the city. He appeared briefly in the High Court today. There's a mixed bag from sport. We've got jiu-jitsu, netball, cricket, basketball and racing awards. And finally, in our fresh section, active wear is no longer for exercise. It's also a versatile fashion style.
All right, variety in the ODT tomorrow. Thanks, Bruce. Time now for a look at local weather.
This local weather report proudly brought to you in association with Silverhorn Sportsville.
And starting with today's city view taken of the front of the Chinese Gardens. Temperatures at 3 o'clock today, 11 the central city and on the Taieri, 10 at the Gardens. The situation map sees an active low pressure system developing in the Tasman Sea. It will move over the country by the weekend, bringing a colder southwesterly airflow. Forecast for the main towns around the lower south for tomorrow: Invercargill fine in 10, Gore fine just a light westerly in 10, Te Aneau's fine as well, and Alexandra fine with 11. Fine for all these towns. Queenstown gets a high of 11, Oamaru just light winds and 12, Wanaka and Twizel a high of 11 tomorrow. For Dunedin tonight, there is a chance of a shower. The strong southwesterly eases, a low of 6. Tomorrow, morning cloud, but then fine for us as well. Light winds, high 13, the low 3. And Thursday, more fine weather with northerlies, high of 13. Finally, to the Southern Clams tidal and fishing information. High tide tomorrow morning is just after 8 o'clock, and low tide following in the afternoon around 20 to 3. Fishing conditions tomorrow fair, best at around about 10 past 5. And that's 39 Dunedin News for this Tuesday. Have a very good night.
This 39 Dunedin News Bulletin proudly brought to you in association with Alex Campbell's Menswear.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.
Fire that burned so bright now smoke is in the sand. But I don't have the courage to kick out the last remains. So I spit some sticks between my hands. Pray that if it sparks my tears, don't douse the flame. How can I put you out with a chance for ignite? Let's go one night without a fight. We'll be burning back to the tide's fast approaching. We've a little time to move.
Welcome to Southern Attractions. Over the next half hour, we'll take you on a virtual tour of the historic city of Dunedin and its magnificent wild landscapes. We'll introduce you to many of the features that make this place so welcoming to visitors. and we hope this show will help you decide how to enjoy our city's many attractions and inform you more about Dunedin and Otago. At 46 degrees south, about halfway between the equator and the South Pole, sits Dunedin, also known as the Edinburgh of the South, or colloquially as Dunners, and the Maori name is Ōtepoti. It's the second largest city in the South Island of New Zealand and the principal city of the Otago region. It's considered to be one of the 4 main urban centres of New Zealand for historic, cultural and geographic reasons. The Dunedin urban